I'm here talking to Jon from Living Lost. Congratulations with the film.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations with the nominations. And thank you for being here. Thank you very much for coming to London, to our festival. It's always the same opening question, Jon, which is the backstory to this story. How did it happen? What's the germ of it? How did it all start?
Yes.
Sorry, I should ask you your role. Sorry, apologies. If you can start by telling us your exact role and involvement in the film, and then go on to perhaps tell us.
Oh, great.
What it's
Yeah.
about.
Yes, absolutely. I'm Jon Bessire, and I'm the director and the actor. To get into the question,
Where did it all start? Yeah.
I'm an actor by nature, so after years of being on the cutting room floor or projects not being completed, eventually it pushed me in the position to need to see my stories get made. So, and this was one of the stories I actually started writing down in the Amazon. I was going through Ecuador and Peru, and I was doing a little tour through there. And
I was actually on holiday or something.
I was actually on holiday, and
Right.
and I had and we had. My first producer, John Church, and I had already started the company, and we'd already done some shorts, and we were trying to do little commercials and feel our way around to see what we wanted to do. And then we were working on a series of vignettes with other performers, and we were helping each other make a movie and put the vignettes together in a movie, like in the vein of I Love You, New York, and that sort of thing. So. We had already been working on that, and I was on holiday in the Amazon. I was like, I need a feature, and I already knew that I wanted something, some sort of adventure, some sort of maybe rite of passage movie, some sort of I like man versus nature. Werner Herzog.
Yeah, fantastic.
I mean,
yeah.
that's my thing. So I love that idea. So
like a Fitzcarraldo, you were thinking maybe, or maybe not on that grand
that's
scale.
I know, it's like I didn't know how ambitious I could be right away. Of course, I'm thinking huge, and of course I was like, okay, the reality is though, if we're going to do this, let's be serious. So when I set out to write the script, it was more in the vein of what is it that we can literally get done and shoot. Because we had the possibility of money coming in. It wasn't a lot, so it was like, okay, we can't do a lot, but what could we do on a pretty small budget? And that's what I actually started writing the script on the idea of doable.
All right, so you're tailoring the script from the off to make sure that whatever it is you do, you'll probably have enough to cover it.
Exactly.
Right.
Plane crashes and helicopters, those were out.
Yeah.
First page, gone. So it was going to be, and I wanted the story to be very human. The character that I wanted was, I knew the man needed to go through a change, and it had to be up against nature that he found his change. That I knew from the get-go, and I wasn't 100% sure how I was going to form that, but when I was in the place where I wanted to be, that's when it started forming. So the very first idea when I was down in the Amazon, when you're going through the Amazon and there's so much oil down there and they're wrecking a lot of nature.
Of course,
so that was my first idea was, this guy's an oil man, and he wakes up and he doesn't want to destroy nature anymore, and he does this, and I started writing the script on that. And as I came back to the United States, and I was doing the maybe third treatment, and I was already into the thing, and I realized as I was turning on my gas stove, and I was putting petrol in my car, and I'm like,
using up those
you
resources.
know what? I use a lot of gas everywhere, everything I do. So I'm like, I don't know if I don't want to be a hypocrite and make a movie about something I personally myself don't
buy into,
because I can't. What am I gonna? Unless I give up all the energy I use during the year, like gas and natural gases, gas in my car, everything. If I can give that up for a year, maybe I'll make this movie. I wasn't able to. So
it's just too difficult.
It's very difficult, and I'm all for like finding ways of curtailing the destruction that that companies, me myself, I can't say we or somebody else out there. It's me. I mean, I'm part of that. So what I did is, instead of taking on that whole line, that was a bigger story than I think I wanted to dig into. So I decided instead to make the man more of a corporate executive who was outside of nature, and then he runs away from what he's used to and then gets into nature. So that's I thought that was a more doable story and maybe even more relatable, as opposed to something bigger like destroying oil wells in the Amazon, which probably is not going to happen anytime soon when you're going up against that kind of thing. So so that basically that's how the story started, is something doable.
Yeah, I mean, I've never asked this question, which is how difficult is it to write a script? I know you go through several drafts, but you under pressure. I mean, you've got to deliver to make a film. But I mean, is it sleepless nights, hell on earth? I don't know, plagues of locusts. I mean, how bad is it?
You know what? Maybe I got lucky on this one. I think there definitely are sleepless nights, because the desire to have something good is so great in me that it's definitely restless. We had a backup plan of our own money in this one, where in case anything happened once we started rolling.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, like your own bond.
Yeah, our own bond is exactly what it was.
God, this sounds quite painful, which you don't want to dip into.
Which, of course, you don't want to do, because I already knew when we started that bond was really for marketing at the end, and getting all that. The end, which is the one thing that everybody I've ever talked to ever runs out of. We don't have enough money for music at the end, and we don't have enough money for marketing at the end. The two things we run out of, and I'm personally friends with a lot of musicians, and I hear the talk, and they're so upset of being used for their music. Well, it's just music. Come on, you're going to be in a film, and I didn't want to be that guy that was getting anything. I understand favors, but I didn't want to be the guy. Come on, just give me free music. And they're an artist too. They're struggling. It's hard, and I don't want to be that guy. So I'm like, I want to have everything kind of set up and ready to go, so that we can present everything in a professional manner, or give everybody what they're worth, and not just have to depend on favors all the way through it. But needless to say, we were one of the productions that the money fell through when we were ready. Everything was set up.
So you're literally ready to go, and the money disappears.
Bang.
So does that mean you've got to go straight into the slush fund?
Straight in. And it was everybody. We had plane tickets. We had everything ready to go to Guatemala. Everybody had taken their time off. They had set. And so we sat as producers and all sat in a room. And this was the sleepless nights, because it was, what do we do? Do we wait for one more year, collect that fund again, and then start? Or everybody's right here, right now, do we just go and then hope for the best? Because that means we're going into the end with nothing. That means we're going basically hand to mouth.
Yeah, you're literally starting. When we're at the end of it, you're going to be, So I'm assuming here you've made the decision to go.
We went.
and how long were you down there for? Sweating every dollar?
Yeah, exactly. We were down where we did a 30-day shoot, and then we had 1 day of fun. And that was, which was, I don't know if anybody was having fun at that point after 30 days, but I think for the most part, people, when you look back at things like that, it's like, oh yeah, I guess that was kind of fun. At the time, I think it was a little brutal. There was some stressful situations in there, and we were trying to get things done. And of course, it's out of country. We had a few people in the crew that had never been out of country, so that made things very difficult. But that is when I say having good producers is amazing, because they were able to take care of a lot of things and keep everybody motivated, keep everybody moving, keep things in line, what we had to do. So needless to say, we did get that shoot off, and we did get it done, and then we had to wait 2 months before we shot all our San Francisco footage. But then we did that, and we had more of a skeleton crew for that, but we were able to do it, and that's when we started calling in favors, because it was like, here we are.
We've absolutely run out. Right, okay.
Yep.
So that fund you had, was it enough in the end, or did it go as far as you hoped it would go when you were away?
It went enough for shooting. What started becoming the problem, and what took us a lot longer in post, is it wasn't enough for post. So we had to sit back and then get more funding. We actually had to work more jobs and do more things so that we could get that post in properly, and that took a little longer than I thought it was going to, because what I was hoping is a maximum of a year in post ended up being more like a year and a half in post. And then in that process, also we ended up doing reshoots because I realized a lot of the footage wasn't quite right. But I just took me and a cameraman and one producer, and we went back down to Guatemala and just
right. So you did do back down to Guatemala.
Bang. Just because I missed quite a few things, and it worked really great. Just having a run and gun. We just like three people like, okay, we missed that, we missed that, we missed that, we missed that, and we were able to get it. So Central America actually wasn't. I guess too expensive, so it seems like, if you take a whole crew and everything.
Right, so the dollars go further down
Yeah.
there, of course, but even so, you've got to take all that into consideration. And what about, I'm sure there wasn't, getting back to Fitzcarraldo for a moment, I'm sure you're not dragging boats through jungles, but, what sort of pain did you go through? Was there anything unexpected that happened?
Unexpected. Well, let's see. Yeah, we didn't have to drag any boats over hills or mountains, because that was a movie in itself, right there.
It was,
the one thing that was interesting is we didn't get two things that happened both in Guatemala and in San Francisco. Is I had given leeway for rain. You got San Francisco in the winter. We shot in January, and then we had Guatemala, which was we were expecting in the hills to have rain, and we didn't have rain in anything. So oddly enough, the unexpected thing is I didn't get rain in any of these scenes.
You didn't at all.
It's like, this is what part of that was the character was supposed to have, when the weather can meet the attitude is what we were trying to get in there. But then we didn't even have the weather coming in, so it was interesting. And not until we went down and did reshoots in Guatemala did we get rain. So I was like, yes, and I was running out in my camera. I was like, why are we out in the rain? We got rain. We got to get some rain shots. I want some misery in this, because all of a sudden it seemed like we had sun for most of this. This guy's supposed to be going through turmoil, and we got sunny days. It's like, I'm trying hard to find the pain here.
And what about the casting? How difficult was that process?
I've been an actor a long time, so it's always the thing I dread the most, because
casting other people.
Yeah, and so casting other people, I really left that to my producers. But here's the one thing I wanted to do with this film is I asked them, is there, here's the weird possibility. What I would like to do with this film is not have, seasoned actors for every part. What I'd really like to do is have speckled in there, I guess, is have real people just in a scripted situation. It's so the event is scripted, and there's nothing just happening by circumstance, because we're definitely setting it up and cutting in 2 camera shoots and doing it. But I wanted to have somebody I wanted a bunch of the actors to not be actors. I wanted them to be people in a situation and just see how they responded in such a way. And
but on the other hand, you didn't want to be part of that process. Is that what you're saying?
So
you're asking what you want, but you're not going to be there to actually help choose. I mean, you must have got involved in that, sure.
I did, and it's so hard to say. That's not one of my favorite things. I don't like sitting in on casting sessions. It's not my favorite things. When I was sitting in on it, I absolutely know what all the actors are going through. I know what it's like sitting in those tiny little rooms under a light and a tiny camera pointed at you, and you're supposed to read a line and act like a part in this tiny little room in front of strangers. It's close to the most brutal experience one can have.
Yeah, when the stress. I mean, the pressure's on, isn't it?
Very much so.
Deliver. Now, I mean, I spoke to JC the other day at length. I mean, his background is fascinating, and in fact, I'm going to grab him later, because I'm going to try and do an open podcast and see if I can grab hold of him later at some point. But what was the type there? How was the connection between you made? How did that all come about?
We were lucky enough to be friends ahead of time before this movie,
right?
And the saying is, if you want to lose friends, make a movie. And so there's always that. We didn't believe that. We really were like, I don't know. I think we can do this. I think we're like-minded. I think we can yell at each other. I think we can take each other's abuse and then just bounce back and go, okay, great, that happened. Now let's move on and move forward to what we have to do. Because making that movie and under a stressful situation, there's always going to be that thing that comes out, the emotion that comes out, the stress that comes out, the desires that come out, and it's not personal. It's just not personal. And some people take it very, very personally. But I thought we were at a good enough fit where it wouldn't be personal. We'd be able to bounce back from it. And we did. We've gone through the ups and downs in the last few years of getting this thing together, and we've gotten better at knowing what each other can handle and can't handle.
Yeah.
And that's a good place to be. That's a hard place to get to, but it's magic almost.
Yeah, I suppose you know what the limits are. That's the
yeah.
thing. And what was the production time from the end of preparing the script? You got the script together till the end of the post, till it's just about ready to be viewed.
Are we at 4 years? Wow. I think we're just a little over 4 years from literal script to presentation. Wow.
And that's not a continuous one. You're, I assume, doing other things in between.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
chunking away. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on to okay.
Because there's a point too where if it wasn't for a good producer, there was times when I think he wanted to give up, and there's times probably I wanted to give up. But there was a good chunk in there where I was just tired of it. I mean, I had given my heart and soul to it, and it seemed like it just wasn't going to. We weren't going to give birth to this thing. It just wasn't going to get out and crawl and see the light of day. And there's a certain time when I just don't know how much more energy and life to give to something if it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And I really think he had more hope than I did for the maybe even the last part of this thing and then once it started getting there, I started getting back on really emotionally and physically involved again.
Yeah.
Yes, this is it. This is what I was looking for. I didn't know it was going to happen, but
I suppose would it be fair to say, because I don't want to say you're seasoned, but because you've been involved in filmmaking for a long time, you know the trials and tribulations more than JC doesn't mind me saying. But you've been there, I assume, seen and got a wardrobe full of t-shirts. But is that a fair way to put it? So I mean, you're more attuned to things that can go wrong, as an example.
Maybe, and I really thought I would be. It's interesting. I thought I'd be stronger than I was, just because I've been on so many productions that didn't see the light of day, and as an actor, you have zero control unless you're a part of the production, which I hadn't been. I mean, I tried to do everything I could to help a lot of these productions see what they could do, but a lot of them just didn't see the light of day, and I said, no way is that going to happen to this film. I'm going to make sure we get to the end here. And it's amazing how after a time and getting quite a few setbacks in a row, it seems like, oh, I see why people don't make it to the end. I don't have to judge them anymore. I get it now. It's hard, and it's a miracle when these films get to the end and get presented.
Oh, it's brutal. I mean, you know, when all the filmmakers I talk to, you think, well, how on earth did they finish this? Because it's a trial just to get all these films made. And what was the most positive thing sort of that came from making this film?
Right away, the thing that comes to mind is the teams that we've formed. So the post-production teams that we've found and have made from our composer. I've learned so much from. I was sitting day by day with my composer and watching, and just the intricate, delicate, interest he had in each frame and how to make the music for that. I was just like, oh, that was beautiful to me. I never sat in that before, and to watch that unfold and get made, it was another art form that I'd never watched get birthed, and then also watching the editor make magic. Just, I mean, I know what I shot and I know what I wanted, but to see that
spliced together,
wow! And then they're starting to form them together, and then even watching our we have on the West Side Media team there, we also had another art form, which is getting that DVD made and getting everything printed, getting everything beautifully put together and having it presentable. It's like, oh, that's another thing that I guess I just took for granted. Oh, that you just do that when you're done, you know.
Well, actually, that neatly leads me on to. I've not seen this as part of your marketing material.
Ah, yes.
What on earth? I mean, please. I mean, this is fascinating. How did this come about? Because I've seen all sorts of promotional material, but nothing quite like this.
Here's what we decided to do: is put a on the postcard is the poster, and then on the back is the typico Guatemala material.
Yeah.
And we thought, what a great idea if we put Guatemala with our poster, so that when we're handing it out, people get the idea of, oh, this is going to be Guatemala. And then with it, we put a little this is actually a USB clip.
Yeah.
And in it has all our information on it. So it has the trailer and then all our
That's
info
fantastic.
to contact us. And then on the back, we just thought, we got a bunch of quetzal, which is the Guatemalan money. And we thought, if anybody would care to just watch our trailer and find out about us, then they can have a coffee if they ever get down to Guatemala. If not, it's just kind of one of those.
Well, it's like an organic media pack almost. It's very clever.
Thank you.
How it's been done. I've not seen anything like that.
I cannot remember who actually, it was a collaboration of minds, I think, at once. I don't know who started the idea, but then we all just were like, and what about, and what about, and what about? And that's what's really neat about having a team is it's the what about.
The ideas,
Some people hasn't, like, what if we had them somehow incorporated the Guatemala material in something that we did? So, and that's how it kind of came about. We just kept thinking of course, we need, let's hand people things. And I personally had that idea of making it more than just simple when Fight Club came out and they handed soap out to everybody.
Soap bars,
yeah. And of course it ended up in eBay that day, but most of them. But that was the idea: is give something more than just, well, here's our poster, because okay, here's our poster, but here's some Guatemala and here's $1 if you ever basically get down there. So yeah, it was. I don't know. Yeah, I think collaboration of mine, but definitely please hold on to that. Keep that. That's.
Brilliant.
That might be worth something someday.
eBay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. That's really kind.
Oh, and I wanted to present you also with. Look, we've done even more. So here it is.
Oh wow.
T-shirt.
Handsome man on the front there.
Oh, yeah.
That's really touching. Thank you very much.
Please, that's for you.
Thank you.
And then we also have made our DVDs
Whoa.
and Blu-rays. So please, those are.
Oh, that's really kind. Thank you. Thanks again.
Absolutely. Thanks
Thank
again.
you. Thank you for your time.
That is not what we discussed. Just cut your team loose, let us run the business, and all your execs can fly away in their golden parachutes.
You got a minute? Look, we've been working on this business for a while now, all right?
Don't worry about anything.
Mr. Timbolt, I thought perhaps you were getting cold feet.
This is a done deal.
How would you all like to go on a trip somewhere? Maybe overseas? I've got some time off.
Grow up!
What if this is me growing up, and you're not letting me?
Aren't you tired of all these little boys?
Are you claiming you're different?
Let's get out of here.
I think I need that doctor.
Oh, you want to play doctor?
What's the bottom line here?
I regret to have to inform you that you have a rare, fast-acting cell degenerative disorder.
It sounds like I'm dying. Is that it?
Well, I know this is hard for you to hear, but your body is not some commodity that you can use for a business deal. But if I were you, I wouldn't waste this year.
I'd really like to leave tonight.
Where would you like to go?
How about South or Central America?
I have 2 seats left to Guatemala City.
Guatemala. They did say there was no remedy.
Your body is reacting to something bigger. Change your lifestyle completely.
And how about you go to dinner with me tonight?
So, Gina, are you here on business, or are you just here to get away from the rat cage?
It's rat race.
Most of the rats I've seen are in cages, not running races.
What do you want?
Would you heal me, please?
Time to go.
I'm in a hurry.
I'm not. I got lots of time. Do you?